native American people, man. You're the people of the Bible, so this is new wine to them, all right? And they've been deceived by the wine of America. So, you know, the 2/3 of our people and all these other nations, we don't care about these other nations, but they're all filled up with the wine of America. Ever since their youth, that's the way they were trained up, to believe that the people of the Bible were so-called white people, that homosexuality is okay, that women are equal with men, and vice versa. They were trained up that way from their youth. So when you try to tell them this new wine, they're not gonna desire it, because they say the old is better. You understand? So it says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Right? Because the scripture says that there's going to be a judgment for America, man. There's going to be a judgment for it. Because it's made spiritual fornication. Alright? With all these other nations. Because the Most High already gave his commandments, laws and testimonies to the nation of Israel. And that's how the nation of Israel, you so-called Negroes and Latinos, was meant to rule the whole earth and govern the nations, man. But the so-called white man, bringing in his perverted judgments upon the earth, has infected, all right, and planted those perverted judgments in all the kings of the earth, man, and made them all drunk. All right, so there's going to be a judgment for that, man. All right. All right, let's get the book of. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 4. Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him. Now, those of you that have eyes to see this thing, eyes to see what we're talking about, and ears to hear, that's speaking about the so-called white man. All right, the soul which is lifted up in him was not upright, because he's transgressing. He's bringing forth wickedness in this society, man. You understand? Is not an upright spirit, and he's lifted up right about now because he's proud as hell. That's a characteristic of the so-called white man. But the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine. So the so-called white man transgresses by wine. Transgresses what? The laws, man. The laws of life that the Most High gave, man. It's really to the nation of Israel. Because the so-called white man has taken our heritage and bestowed it upon himself. He's bestowed it upon himself and claimed himself to be the people of the Bible, man. Talking about the so-called white man who claims himself to be the Jew. Right? And he's transgressing the same laws that he claims that were given to him, man. So he's sinning against his damn self, man. And he's going to receive a judgment for that shit, man. Alright? And he's transgressing to the Most High. Alright? By wine, talking about this truth right here, man. Meaning he's perverting the minds of the people, like we done said. Because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man. That's self-explanatory. Neither keepeth at home. He's always in somebody else's land, telling them about trying to pervert their minds with his transgression, with his wine. Who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, because he enlarges his desire as hell. He's greedy. He's a greedy motherfucker. You would have thought that taking America would have been enough, and enslaving the so-called Negroes would have been enough. But he's in the Middle East now, trying to claim the resources of the other people, and he is as death, wherever, because he promotes sin, transgression of the law, because that's death, man. That's why right now as a people we're walking in the valley of the shadow of death. Because there's no knowledge or wisdom or understanding in the so-called white man society. Alright? Everybody's a beast. Alright? Everybody's lawless and undisciplined. Alright? Because the laws of life are not being implemented in the so-called white man society. So that's how we know this man's transgressing. And that's why he's like death, man. Alright? Because when you fall off from the laws, man, that's why, like I said, two men getting together, that's death. Two women getting together, that's death. Men thinking they're equal with women and women thinking they're equal with men. That promotes confusion. And again, that's death, man. So again, we're walking in the valley of the shadow of death. So-called white man is as death. And cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. So the so-called white man gathers unto himself all people, man, and all nations, man. And that's why they call America the great melting pot. All nations are gathered together in that great city, spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt, man. I mean, come on, man. The scripture said precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. That's how you put this puzzle together, man. We know the Bible's real, but the 2/3 of our people, they've been blind, man, with other doctrines, man. They've been made drunken with other doctrines. They're staggering and erroring in judgment because they've been deceived, man. All right. So let's go to verse 15, the same chapter, the same book. Habakkuk chapter 2 and 15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. So it says, woe to him that giveth his neighbor drink. The word woe means destruction, man. Destruction unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, and putteth his bottle to him, to look upon his nakedness and see his shame, man. The so-called white man put his bottle, his wine, his wicked wine of deception upon you, the 2/3 of our people, the so-called Negroes and Latinos, man, and has made them drunk. So their shame is being seen now, man. Their nakedness is being seen. That's what wine does. But this is spiritual now. Talking about spiritual fornication. Now, our people believe that what's it? You know, they believe that all people are the same, we're all brothers. You know, that one philosophy. You know, Bob Marley, one love. You know, but according to the scriptures, the Most High made it where
man is different.
Yeah, man is different, man.
Sirach 33:10.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? That according to the blessings, Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 1, if we keep the commandments, we be above all nations, man.
Can't.
You understand? That's right judgment. One nation to rule them all, man.
Can't.
You understand? That creates order, hierarchy. You understand? Laws and order, man. And cuts out confusion, which the so-called white man is trying to bring forth, man. Now, what was I gonna say? Like I said, our people are naked right now because they don't have the truth. They don't have the understanding, wisdom, and knowledge of the scripture, man. Because they've been made blind, man. They're already trained up from a certain way, but the elect, not so. For the good, are good things created from the beginning, man. You understand? So it's all predestined, man. It's all about predestination. So destruction unto the so-called white man, man. Destruction unto you Edomites. You're the descendants of Esau. You made all the that's how you know because you're the king of Babylon. You're the king of the great whore, man. You rule. You're the ruler of America, which is that great whore. All right. Book of Revelations chapter 16 verse 15. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth. So this is talking about the Lord, Yahweh Shai. Because he said 2,000 years ago, he said, no man knoweth the day nor the time. Alright? Not even the Son of Man himself, man. Only the Father knows. So if the Lord who's going to come and visit this earth, not even he knows when he's going to come, man. Only the Most High himself, the Supreme Father, whose name is Yahweh. Alright? In the ancient Hebrew. So blessed is he that watches, man. Because 2/3 of our people, they ain't watching, man. They're too drunk. They're staggering. They're too out of their down man, to be watching and measuring the times, man. Understanding that the mark of the beast is close. The full implementation of it, which is really gonna happen this month, man. The 23rd of this month. Our people, they're so drunk off of the wine of Babylon that they can't measure the times, man. Because when you're drunk, you can't think straight, man. Right? Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked, and they see his shame. Our garments is talking about righteousness, talking about laws and order, man. Because when you read Revelations chapter 14, it tells you that blessed is he who keep here are the faith and patience of the saints, and they who keep the commandments, man. Because the commandments is our righteousness, man. Alright? That's what a lot of our people don't understand, especially the Rastafarians, the so-called the Benjamites. They don't understand that what righteousness is, man. Let's find out what righteousness is. Because the scriptures say prove all things, right? Where's the scripture? The book of Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 24. And the Lord commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear the Lord our God, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive, as it is this day. So again, like I said, the so-called white man is as death, because he doesn't promote the statutes and judgments of the Most High. So we keep the commandments and it will preserve us alive, man. We be alive to the Most High. We won't be dead to the Most High. As it is this day, and it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Lord our power, as he hath commanded us. So it shall be our righteousness, man. So now you've just been given the definition of righteousness, the observation of the commandments, man, to maintain law and order, which is a sober state of mind, correct judgment, man. That's what the commandments bring, life, man. Because when you're drunk, all right, you're not sober, you're messed up, your judgment is poor, all right. You've been drinking off of that wine, the wine of Babylon. That's why the so-called white man transgresses by wine, all right. He transgresses the commandments by philosophies and different doctrines, man. All right. Now, there's another scripture I want to get. The book of 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 16. All scripture is given by inspiration of the Most High, and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of the Most High may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. So the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the scriptures is our righteousness, man. So that's our garments. You understand? We gotta put on righteousness and the knowledge and understanding of the scriptures to preserve us, man. So when the Lord comes in all his glory, all right, the day of judgment upon the 2/3 of our people, the other nations, and mainly this the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, man, that we the elect might be preserved, man, alive, all right, and be delivered. A part of destruction. That's where you get the word salvation from. Preservation from destruction, man. You understand? So let me get something, man. Oh, sir. Let me just go back to Revelations 16 and 15. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. Talking about this truth, like I said. And let's go to the book of Job. This is the book of Job, chapter 29, verse 14. I put on righteousness, and it clothed me. My judgment was as a robe and a diadem. Alright? So Job, in the days of his youth, he put on righteousness and it clothed him, man. Talking about law and order, man. And the knowledge, wisdom, understanding of the scriptures and the Most High, man. Alright? Because the scriptures talk about that when you're born again, when you put off the old man and put on a new man, you're made in knowledge after the image of the Most High who created us, man. Because the image of the Most High is wisdom, alright, and law and order, man. Talking about the laws that are written in the book of Numbers, the book of Deuteronomy, Leviticus, and Exodus, man. You understand? So the so-called white man transgresses all of those laws. So he's bringing death. But if we can keep this knowledge onto us, you understand? It's going to clothe us. And the Lord is going to acknowledge us when he returns, man.